Female entrepreneurs face the same challenges as women climbing the corporate ladder. They need to be encouraged to step up and take risks, and we need to work to eradicate the unconscious bias that holds women to higher standards than their male colleagues, where it will be in running for political office, striving for the corner office, or getting funds for a business venture. We'll talk more about this at the Durian Heat.
The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
The job opportunities to female in Malaysia, it's way lesser than male. And then Malaysia wanted to take the example of Japan, you know, how women needs to focus more on the family and family-oriented mindset, because they believe, I forgot the organization, but then they believe that Japan only become a developed nation because of women, and how they were focused in the family and then be very domesticated, and then also to carry out and then to take care of the family and then stuff like that. So yes, Gauri, who is your favorite? Or
I actually have too many. I don't know where to start.
okay, where are they from? Fashion or see? I'm stereotyping again.
Not Victoria Beckham, right?
No more Victoria Beckham, because we are talking about Malaysia now.
No more wags, right?
Unless I'm a wag, which I will be, like 5 or 10 years from now.
All right.
Actually, fashion is one of them. I probably mentioned to you guys before about Norita Harith. She has her own shop in Bangsar.
I see.
And I've been following her work for a long time. And she actually came from quite a humble background, but she worked her way up. And she was one of the first few to actually venture into fashion by herself, and she started out her own shop, and she's got her own collection there, and her achievements are pretty impressive. And she's one of the early ones that I was looking up to.
Malaysian entrepreneurs. The funny thing is, I don't really have one, but I do feel that a lot of the women in Malaysia, they are lack of opportunity to move up the career ladder, and also to move up the salary scale up. I mean, I give example of how there's a research by the Malaysian Human Development Report saying that the wage gap between men and women in Malaysia is very, very high. Especially the higher you climb up, the less you get paid compared to men, which is really sad. So when it comes to women in entrepreneurship, I in fact admire more women outside of Malaysia. My favorite is most probably Sheryl Sandberg, the COO of Facebook. What I really like about her is she's a woman. She's a mother. She married a really nice nerdy guy. Just kidding about that. I mean, my point is, she's someone that I really aspire to be, because I think that she has this ability to, even though she's a woman, she has this ability to really bring some changes to society. Especially Facebook didn't make money when Mark Zuckerberg was heading Facebook, but when she started to become the COO, then Facebook started to make profits. So it shows that just because you are a woman doesn't mean that you have no clue about business. In fact, it's the other way around. It's how you are capable of doing things. I feel that Malaysian woman needs that kind of spotlight to be able to move forward in the career ladder as well as the salary ladder.
And also to talk about the Malaysian female entrepreneurs, one of them should be highlighted from internet or IT industry is Flona Tan. She is the president and also CEO of the e1net.com, and it is also Asia's leading internet marketing company with offices in Malaysia. So it's based in Malaysia, but it's also got the branches in Hong Kong and China. So the clients include the Fortune 500 corporations and also local SMEs. So what she did is she's one of the most renowned internet marketing speakers in Asia, and with audiences from across the continent. So this is something that should be highlighted in Malaysia. I'm sure people from the internet or IT industry will know of her and also heard of her, but yet the awareness and also being highlighted too in the entrepreneurship industry in Malaysia, it's not so much yet. And then what she did is also she has a lot of awards, competitions, and also she has her own nicknames such as Internet Marketing Queen and the Malaysia Superwoman, Internet Musician. So it's like amazing that how she carries her nicknames and to be known for something by media and also in her own industry.
You know, since you brought that up, there's another person that I want to talk about, and her name is Go Ai Ching. And not only she's from Penang, we were actually in the same high school.
Oh my god.
She was my senior back in high school.
Wow.
And she has gone such a long way now that she even won an award for this Silicon Valley Comes to Malaysia event. And of course, I take pride in that. The fact that she's from Penang and we're from the same school.
For sure.
So what she did was she came up with this web application called PictoChart. So for people who are not so skilled in terms of graphic design or in terms of making a presentation, you can actually go to PictoChart and pick out their custom-made designs, put them together, and come up with your own design. And some of the users who are using her application are actually students from Harvard, Cornell, and we have 2 Ivy League universities there, and also other multinational corporations like Red Bull, Marriott, and also General Electric. So she is someone who came from a small town and she made it big through her efforts.
So are you saying that you're also from a small town?
Yes, I am from a small town.
But I have a question here. We can actually just Google, well-known female entrepreneurs in Malaysia and also in the world. But then my question here is, as many as there are quite successful female entrepreneurs throughout the world, still male entrepreneurs get better media coverage and visibility. And then I'm trying to think the reasons behind it. Why is it that male entrepreneurs are more highlighted than females in terms of not only media, but then people can relate themselves better when it comes to male businessmen than females?
Actually, I would disagree with that because when we think of male entrepreneurs or female entrepreneurs, for example, we have Heidi Klum, we have Tyra Banks, we have Oprah Winfrey, and
but they're all from the more or less the same industry. When we think of the, let's say, from like industry like a technology industry, perhaps from the business world, where
actually you make a lot of sense in that, because if you're looking at the heavyweight industry, industry that involve commodities, involve manufacturing, those kind of really businesses that really make the GDP of the nation, they are not that many, and most of them are male dominated. I mean, you don't have to go as far, even though you just go to any forums, any conferences where the topic is not about fashion or music or entertainment, you would seldom see women within, either as the speakers of the discussion or even as part of the audience. Like most of them would shy away from those kind of male oriented themes, topics, or even business sectors, which is quite sad.
And also it's like when you think of business, you tend to think of male. It's like when it comes to engineering, you also tend to think more on the males than females. So it's sort of the same chapter how we have been, people have been thinking about when it comes to female entrepreneurs. Of course, like Gauri, you mentioned, there are lots of them from certain industries. But I'm talking about the whole picture where the more percentage are heavily on certain industries rather than IT or like Ali mentioned, heavy-weighted industry.
That's the end of our second segment of the Durian Heat. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned with us. We'll still be discussing on the female entrepreneurship at the Durian Heat.
You're now listening to Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.